of Viking legend, the secret of the moonstone in the lands where the endless, cold winds of the north held sway, where the deep waters of the fjords ran like ice, and every rock whispered tales from the past. There lived a brave and powerful Viking tribe. This tribe was known as the Grey Wolves, and they sailed fearlessly from the shores of Bandarma, Turkey, all the way to the deep fjords of Norway. The youngest warrior of this tribe, Ragnar, was different from the others. He was known not only for his sword, but also for his fascination with the stars, his ability to hear the whispers of the waves, and his skill in reading ancient runic scripts. His father, the tribe's chieftain, Bjorn, was an undefeated leader in battle, and often didn't understand this dreamer side of Ragnar, wanting him to shine more in combat. It was a difficult time for the Grey Wolves. Their last raid had failed, and game was scarce. Their settlement on the shores of Bandarma was filled with a tense anticipation as the brutal cold of winter approached. The icy winds arrived with a chilling whisper. One night, as the northern lights painted the sky with the most magnificent hues of green and purple, Ragnar went to the tribe's wise shaman, Freya. Freya sat in an icy cave near the stormy coast of Bandarma, surrounded by ancient oak trees shaped by the wind, at a fire adorned with runic stones. Freya, Ragnar said, his voice filled with a trembling hope. "What can I do to bring abundance and prosperity to my father's tribe? The Grey Wolves. Our last hunts have failed, our fields have frozen, and winter looks to be very harsh. My people are starving." Freya slowly opened her eyes. Her old and knowledgeable gaze instantly saw not only the despair in Ragnar, but also the great potential he carried. "Ragnar," she whispered, her voice echoing off the cave's stone walls, "what will save your tribe is not just the strength of your sword, but the courage that lies deep in your heart, your wisdom, and your connection with nature." According to the legend, in these lands, at the summit of the highest mountain, Mount Storm, which lies beyond the clouds in the far west of Bandarma, there is a moonstone that glows day and night. That stone guides only those with the purest hearts, brings abundance even in the harshest winters, and gives life energy to everything it touches. However, the moonstone is guarded by Hugin, the oldest and greatest storm eagle of the skies. Hugin opens the way only for those who are worthy. Ragnar did not hesitate. He thought of the hunger in his people's eyes and the worry on his father's face. He set off at the next dawn. He took only his most trusted sharp axe, a piece of dried meat, a protective runic necklace Freya had given him, and some medicinal herbs he had learned from the local people of Bandarma. His journey was difficult. He passed through frozen forests, accompanied by the howling of wolves, crossed icy rivers, and climbed on slippery slopes. With every step, he thought of his father's trust in him, the hopeful eyes of his tribe, and the hunger of his loved ones. Days followed days. When Ragnar reached the foothills of Mount Storm, his body was exhausted, but his spirit was still strong. The mountain stood beyond the clouds, as if touching the sky. The climb was unlike anything he had ever experienced. The icy wind cut his face, and a snowstorm blocked his vision. At one point, he felt as if he would fall, but Freya's words came to mind. It guides only those with the purest hearts. Ragnar was not climbing for fame, but for the good of his tribe. This thought gave him incredible strength. When he reached the summit, his breath was taken away. The sky was so close, he felt as if he could touch the stars. Right on a steep rock at the peak, there was a stone emitting a pale blue light, looking like a piece of the moon itself. It was the Moonstone. Ragnar touched the stone with his trembling hands. At that moment, a warm energy radiating from the stone enveloped his entire body. The stone's glow pierced the clouds and spread down, illuminating every inch of the valley over Bandarma and the mountains of Belikasor. Taking the Moonstone, Ragnar carefully descended. Hugin, the storm eagle, accompanied him throughout his journey, sometimes flying over his head and sometimes waiting silently on a nearby rock. When he returned to the valley where the tribe was located, everyone had gathered to welcome him. The look of despair on the people's faces was replaced by surprise and then joy. His father, Bjorn, was in awe of his son's courage and success. Ragnar extended the Moonstone to Bjorn. The moment the stone's glow touched the frozen ground, an incredible change occurred. The branches of the dry trees instantly turned green and blossomed. The ice on the icy river melted, and its waters began to flow brightly, with a plentiful supply of fish appearing within them. The fields came to life, and sprouts shot out from the frozen ground. In the middle of winter, it was as if a magical spring was taking place. The people knelt on the ground with surprise and joy. From that day on, the miracle of the Moonstone spread to all lands. The gray wolves were no longer known only for their swords, but also for Ragnar's courage, wisdom, and the purity of his heart. Ragnar became the new chieftain of the tribe and led them not only with strength, but also with wisdom, the importance of living in harmony with nature, and the love they had for each other. The lands around Bandarma and its surroundings never suffered from hunger, thanks to the Moonstone's abundance. And from that day on, the Moonstone was always the tribe's most valuable treasure. Telling future generations about Ragnar's epic journey, his encounter with the storm eagle, Hugin, and that true strength is not only in the sword, but in the heart, in courage, and in living in harmony with nature. The Grey Wolves lived in prosperity under Ragnar's leadership, and the light of the moonstone illuminated the fjords of Bandarma forever.